I'm Ed Stafford, and I've put myself through extreme tests of endurance and isolation to become a bushcraft and survival expert.
I'm proud of that.
I've tested my skills against the world's toughest survivalists.
Come on.
In head-to-head races across the wildest and most unforgiving landscapes on the planet. But I'm not done. I'm refusing to stand still. This time, I'm doubling up on opponents, taking on rematches,
bringing in my game,
and having to go harder than ever before. It's not about beating my chest, but taking my skill set to the next level.
Come on, stop it.
In a bid to prove to myself that I'm on top of my game. This time, I'm facing my arch nemesis, Matt Graham. He's back for a rematch. A few years ago, he beat me in Mongolia.
He whipped my ass. You know, no, he's not invited again.
But this time, I plan to get my revenge.
You're not coming first, mate.
We're in the remote, rugged, and brutal wilds of Scotland.
It's cold!
An environment that you take lightly at your peril.
People underestimate Scotland. It can get as dangerous as the Arctic.
I know that it's a little bit closer to home for Ed. There's definitely some mix of apprehension and excitement. I'm honored that Ed brought me back for a rematch.
He is an ultramarathon runner. He's also very, very good at bushcraft skills.
Good to see you. Scotland.
I've asked wilderness expert Stephen Hanton to design a course that will push both of us to the limits of our abilities.
This is the starting point. The route is a classic sea to summit, up over boggy terrain, over the barren highlands. There are large, freezing cold lochs to navigate round. So that's about a 5-day race. We're prohibited from being able to hunt anything, mostly gathering. Okay, so you've both got your knives.
Yep.
I'm going to give you one additional piece of kit each, and that's a poncho. And that's because it's so tough out there, it's going to be extremely cold. You're going to be going through large stretches of barren ground, and there's absolutely nothing.
Thanks for bringing me to Scotland, Ed.
On my signal, 3, 2, 1, and off you go!
Matt's ahead of me. I need to make ground as quickly as possible.
According to the tracker, Ed has chosen a more direct route, while Matt has gone up the ridgeline early. Both will find the first part of the race incredibly tough.
Push on, Stafford. Look at that. This is extraordinary. The sun is over there, which means that must be west, so in front of me is north. That means if I run along the north coast of this peninsula, then I'm heading east, and east is the right direction. East is the way I'm gonna get to Ben Nevis. What is that?
There's bits of metal everywhere, actually, and little shards, and I'm just thinking this kind of really flat metal is very, very easy to manipulate into a fishing hook. Oh, nice. This is spent ordnance, bullet cases, basically. Scotland was used by the commando units just before D-Day as a training exercise area, and then I suspect that these spent cartridges are part of that. Look at that! If I can get the top off that, potentially, it's got gunpowder in it, hasn't it? Don't try this at home. Gunpowder's an accelerant. I can't actually make a fire with it, but it can help me turn that ember into flames. Fishing hooks and accelerant is good. Right, nice one. I'm gonna make some line. Peeler crab, it's probably about the best bait you could possibly put out on a line. Flatfish are bottom feeders. The hooks will be on the end of the lines, on the floor. They bite the food, line the bait off the hook, and fingers crossed we got breakfast. And hopefully, once the tide comes in, catch me a flatfish. Oh, there.
Yeah, a fair bit of foot pain. It's getting proper sore. Last year I got a stress fracture in my foot. Might be good to get health and safety in, figure out a way to continue or not, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do at this point. How you doing, Matt? Hey. You're a hard man to find. How you doing? I'm hanging in there, but the biggest challenge has been the train. It's kind of aggravated an older injury. Felt like a fracture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
There, right there. I think the best thing to do from a medical point of view is to get you to a hospital and get it x-rayed.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had to quit the race right here on the first day, yeah, I'd be pretty disappointed with myself. You know, at this point, it just feels like getting through it, getting through the challenge, and not giving up.
It's day 2. Plan for the day, go down, check the long line, see if I've got any fish, and then I've just got to make as many kilometres as possible. It's got seaweed. It's got a fish. It's got a fish. Looks like it's been eaten by an otter, but I'm not disappointed. It's a very good catch. I need to make ground today, and I don't think I can afford to take the time to cook it. I'm going to eat them raw. Tastes like a fish market. Immediate problem in front of me is this lock. I don't know the way the lock bends around out of sight. If I'm to circumnavigate this lock, it's going to take me extra days, literally days, not hours, but days to walk around. And when I was in the army, we used to wrap our rucksack in our ponchos in order to use them as flotation devices, and I just want to use the vegetation almost to create volume, and it's the air pocket that I'm creating that's going to provide the buoyancy.
I've been marking Matt's route on the tracker, and I can see clearly the smart move, undoubtedly, is to use this area with its abundant resources to consolidate.
This is willow right here. Willow's known to be a salicylic acid, which is basically like aspirin. So it's an anti-inflammatory. It acts as a mild painkiller, and with my foot, the way it was acting up, taking a little bit of this in, it's gonna be helpful. Yeah, I think it'll help heal it up.
I'm estimating this is going to take about 35 minutes to get across there. I'm a poor swimmer, but I've got my nice little flotation device there. I'm going to hold my chagger above my head. I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. Cold. It is cold.
Just praying that the chagger doesn't get wet.
This flotation device is not floating as much as I thought it would. The chagger's getting splashed. This was the worst idea I've had in a very long time. It is taking. I'm taking bigger risks now. I think there is definitely a bit of me that doesn't want to lose again to Matt Graham at the end of the day. This might just put me in the lead.
So I've got the fishing line that I found earlier. I had a friend that told me about a feather trick. By cutting the feather, using a section about 3 inches of the feather and running the line through it, he actually created a lure. Lure basically acts like another fish. Got one. This is a big breakthrough for me. Having this fish on the fire, and look at that, juices going. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it smells amazing. Hot and steamy. So good. My foot's definitely doing better. Yeah, the willow, it's always a help getting the salicylic acid in my body, any anti-inflammatories, so that was key.
I'm just keeping an eye out for potential places to make a camp for the night. See, I might just head back over there. And a big bird that looked like an eagle has just took off from over there.
There might be a possibility of food. There's a carcass. It's a red deer. Wow. Okay, come here. You can see where there was an eagle. You can see where it's started to attack the carcass. Oh my God, it's bubbling. The meat's decaying. It is covered in ticks. Absolutely gross. But this is an amazing opportunity, an absolutely phenomenal opportunity for me. Going up into the mountains with limited layers, I need insulation. And look at that chunk of meat. That's like, smell aside, that is like a chunk of meat from the finest butchers. Venison kebabs. Let's have a little taste. That's good. That's venison.
It's early day 4. Ed and Matt pushed through the Highlands yesterday, with Ed maintaining a small lead. They're not far from the finish, which is on the mountain Ben Nevis. But before they get there, a giant sea loch stands in their way.
Swimming it, I think it's further than the loch that I swam as well. I think I've made enough progress to justify taking the time to actually build a raft now. And then I'm going to lay materials. It's just going to build up a volume and bind them all together with brambles and roots. I'm then going to wrap my poncho all around it. It's the poncho that's going to provide the buoyancy. It's heavy.
I see someone up there.
The water's just coming in. It is cold.
There's Ed. Ed! I see you! I'm coming for you!
Come on. You're not coming first, mate.
There's some driftwood around here. Gotta figure out a raft or something. If I can get out in the water really soon, I might be right on its tail. It's gonna be surfboard style. It's gotta be down and dirty. I'm gonna have to get wet no matter what. It's gonna be cool.
I can't afford to stop. Every time I stop, I can feel myself drifting backwards.
Catching up to Ed. Ed had no idea he was competing against a surfer boy.
Come on. He's only 50 meters out. I need to get going now. That is so close.
That was a long, cold swim.
I can see from the tracker that Matt's pulled it back, and now these two elite competitors are moving really fast towards the exfil.
This is extraordinarily useful. This is wool that has already naturally felted. It's a bit gopping, but there's a lot of wool in that, isn't there? At the moment, you can't really see that being anything but a wet mess, but potentially I can make myself a really nice warm hat out of that. Right, next, this hide is obviously a very decent amount of insulation. I suppose I need to make armholes, maybe there and there, like a car bonnet. Oh, it stinks. That's giving me a good degree of insulation. I can feel that already. And I can smell that. Let's do some final preps. So I'm going to use my hat as a bit of a template. And it's a bit of a drastic trim, post-lockdown haircut. I think that's pretty cool myself. Don't know about you.
So my plan right now is basically drop my pants, drop my drawers. I want to kind of reduce some of the drag I'm getting from my pants. And then I'm gonna make some gaiters to go over the boots. I can see that there's snow up there, so it's just gonna help keep the snow from sliding in the cuff of my shoe. So it's gonna make me super streamlined and fast. Oh yeah.
Ed and Matt are approaching Ben Nevis from slightly different angles.
My legs are burning. Still can't see Matt anywhere.
It's really hard on my foot. It's kind of frustrating.
Matt's beaten me before and I gave up before the finish line. I'm not going to do that this time. I got a little boy at home who's desperate to see me. If there's a drive in my life, it's not ego anymore. It's to make him proud of his dad.
I can see one of them. I can't see who it is yet. Come on! Almost there.
Am I glad to see you?
Well done, mate. That was really tough.
I can see him.
You are the first man out.
Mate, thank you.
Superb job. Well done, mate. That was a tough finish. That was a great finish. Well done, mate.
I think Matt is as good as they get. If there was any reason I could justify this in terms of a win, it's that this isn't his environment.
Yeah, good. Amazing competition, thank you. I thought I was going to come up and see you at the top, I have to be honest.
Yeah, I'm happy to come back for... No, I'm not happy to come back for a rematch.
Cheers, mate.
I'm impressed with what Ed did today.
I was thinking my little boy, I want him, when he grows up, to be proud of his dad, you know? That is proper fuel, it really is.